lanes. I've been driving this train, years in this lane. There's no stopping this flame, cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capping space. I won't stop till I hear him say.
Welcome back. Welcome back. How you guys doing today? What's going on, JR?
Hey, I'm all good, thanks. Man, just finished eating a whole load of food. My mom had a barbecue today, so lots of friends and family around, things like that. All good, man. How are you?
I'm good. I'm great, except for a little bit of pain, but I'm gonna muddle through. We got a special guest today, Brian. How are things going with you?
Oh, everything's good over here.
Oh, okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. Okay, so go ahead and get started. We're part 2 of the Getaway, right, with all the singles, and Deanna and Khalil had to sit down and have a talk, right?
Yep.
And basically the two of these two people like don't seem to know if they're really into each other or not. They say, oh yeah, we get along swell, but I don't know if there's any sexual chemistry. What did you think about that, JR?
This is despite them rooming together for the entire trip so far. I think they're staying together, right?
Right, they were. Yep.
So yeah, like it's pretty clear if they didn't or did have sexual chemistry, because they stayed in the same room, they slept in the same space, and they've been going through the process together. So I think it was just time for Deanna to go home. There's no connections other than Naeem, who that probably wasn't going to work because of his situation. Yeah, I didn't see anybody that she was really particularly interested in. I thought her and Khalil made a good match though, but I guess they just missed each other. They were just kind of invisible. I think he was interested more than she was, obviously, but this wasn't meant to be. So her time's up.
Yeah, yes. She doesn't seem to be making any connections. What did you think, Ron?
Yeah, I thought similar. Like I said, it's not him. He asked her straight up. It's her job to make the sexual connection with the guy. She ain't one of those type of women where it's gonna come automatically to a man. So he responds more off her energy and stuff. So she's bringing that I want to be by you, pick me vibe, affectionate vibe and stuff. A man will pick up on it and he'll combine that with her other qualities. And that's how she's going to get a man. But if she's going to be standoffish and not know where things of that nature, then it's not his job. She's not going to find a guy who's just going to still keep pursuing through that. Not a guy quality. It's just she ain't built that way overall. So she has to learn how to flirt a little more. She's going to have to learn how to bring that feminism, bring that real sexual drive that only a woman can do. It's not a male's job to bring that sexual tension. You know what I mean? That's a woman. That's what she's supposed to be doing and things of that nature. And I didn't see her bust one move or do anything to say that she wanted to be on here with a man.
I'm curious as a woman, and I've been a woman my whole life. I'm curious now, what was she supposed to do to let him know? And by the way, guys, I have to apologize. I had this on private. I was wondering, like, where are our people at? Our people are missing, but I see why we didn't have any people because I had it locked down on private. So sorry about that. That's my mistake. But anyway, Brian, I was asking you, so how is a woman supposed to let a man know, that she wants him in a more not a platonic way, but more of a romantic way?
Well, this is a fast-paced show, so she got to come with it. Like, you know what I mean? Like the other girls are coming with it. She has to be more touchy-feely. Like I said, more affectionate, more flirtatious. She has to. You have to do that on this type of show. You know what I mean? It ain't no just sit back and watch the male pursue. That's the whole gift and the curse of Ready to Love. Women got to pursue just as much, if not more, as the males. That's why each side get a chance to eliminate. So, yeah, she has to bring it too. It ain't just sit back and watch this guy break through the ice and he brings all the sexual chemistry and stuff towards her. No, she has to bring it to him. And like I said, if she did a good job with that, he would have combined that with some of her other qualities, being, and drawn woman seems pretty nice. He would have saw a little more sexuality in her look because he likes the affection, he likes the attention, he likes what she's bringing, and combining it on. And that's how you kind of get a connection and more of a match or more of that feeling. But it starts with her as the woman.
Yeah, I think I see where you're going with this. I think I do see where you're going, and you have some very good points. You have some very good points. JR, what do you think about that? Is it always the woman's prerogative or responsibility to kind of make things known like that?
I think in this specific case, she was mainly talking about her job for most of the time she was on the show in the early stages. Anyway, she's starting to soften up in the last few episodes, but again, she didn't make it clear that she was interested in anyone. So Khalil having questions about what their connection is now, and there is no connection, clearly, because we're so deep in and they spent so much time together in the retreat, rooming together and such, and mingling with others as well. And there was not one connection that I saw her make. So, yeah, I agree with Ron on that aspect. She didn't make it known that she was interested, so no one's going to pursue her. Every attempt that she had when she went on any dates, she shut them down pretty quickly, or even before they got to the dating stage. So,
JR, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
JR, do you feel like to this point, Deanna, do you feel like maybe she was hyper independent and she showed that with all the men, and that kind of didn't help her to find her connection?
Yeah, I think if you want to call it that, the fact is, she clearly prioritizes talking about her career and obviously the role she has, rather than actually building a connection. So I don't even know if she can get in touch with that side where she's, playful, touchy-feely with a guy, especially in this process where you're supposed to be searching for a partner. I didn't really think she made an attempt to bridge that gap.
No, I don't. You're right about that. I don't think she did either. I think it's some. Go ahead, Ron. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think it's the independent part. I think she has a certain type. A guy, I think, that what she likes or wants. And it's hard to have a certain type in this dating age that's going on right now, because it just puts you in such small box when the box is already small for some women out here, in the dating world. Like my sister, she has a certain type of guy. So I took her out last night, and she gets broke up with her boyfriend after a year and a half. She's looking for that particular type of guy again. I'm like, that guy is such a small niche. Like, I can take you to 5 different spots. We're gonna run into 75 guys, and they're not gonna be like him. Like, you know what I mean? Because you got a certain type. He has to be this and techie and nerdy and not nerdy, and this. It goes down there. So when you find, you know what I mean? So when they have that type in their head, they're gonna be kind of standoffish to most guys until she runs into that guy that's her direct type that she was wanting and thinking about. I just think that person wasn't there because it's such a small sample size of what, and a lot of women do this. They just have a type, and their type is hard to find because, you know what I mean? Men don't have a type. Men, you can take me anywhere. I'm gonna find my type. Where we're at.
Well, some men do have a type, but
they got a type, but it's a broad type. It ain't as pinpoint as some
specific.
Women. Like, some women, if the guy could be 6'5" and handsome and stuff like that, and she still won't find him attractive. It ain't her type. I've seen this time and time again. So it's just she has, some women have a type, and when that guy come around, all that independent stuff switch up. All that unflirty stuff switch up. She gets real attentive to that particular type. and like I said, the type don't always make sense. He ain't always the richest guy, the most handsome guy, or the muscular guy, and stuff like that. It's just her type.
Yeah, you know what? El Cid is in the chat. Hey, El Cid, Babs, Michelle, and all you that are in the chat, whether you're in the bushes or chatting with us. El Cid says a type equals restriction. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, it does. Because here's the part that men get confused at. They'll look at a guy like him who seems to have it together, who's asked her straight up, is she interested? He seemed to try to, he wants to give it a shot to see it to make it work. And say, what's wrong with him? That's what logical thoughts on guys. But, guys got to understand that women ain't necessarily logical when we know this. So logical to us, we're like, oh, this good looking dude. You know what I mean? You got his stuff together. Why not him? And we don't understand that, her restrictions he's not on that type list. So she's never going to be able to open up fully to him. And all she was waiting for him to do is really over pursue, which he wasn't going to do for her, Now, it's some women that are just drop dead 10s. They just look at that. The rules don't apply to them. I think God don't care if it's his type, whatever like that. He's gonna pursue her anyway. Full steam ahead. He don't care if she likes him. She don't care if she's affectionate. He don't care about none of that. He just knows that she looks that good, and he's gonna give his all.
He gonna give it his all. Okay.
Yeah, this doesn't apply here. So she has to put in the effort to let him know.
Yeah, slow down, Ryan. Hold your horses. What are you trying to say? You trying to say my girl Deanna isn't fine?
No, she's pretty. But I'm saying she's not on the level where a guy's going to say, forget everything else. His ego, some girls are just so pretty that our egos as men kick in so overdrive that we're going to pursue with our heads down no matter what. That girl could have assaulted us, could have called us a name. That girl could have been rude. And y'all see it all the time. You're like, how's this rude girl getting the men, to still approach her and things like that? Yeah, with bad attitudes and things of that nature. This is our beauty. Our egos as men get fired up for that, and we just go at it blindly, not even thinking and stuff until we, figure out later, like, hey, wait a minute, I didn't even think about does she have a personality or not? Or, it'd be too late. Like, we'd already bought the dinner and stuff and wasted our money. But in her case...
So in other words, pretty girl privilege. That pretty girl privilege.
Yeah, pretty girl privilege kick in. She didn't necessarily. She's very attractive. She didn't necessarily have that. But I'm saying, if she would have been flirting and showing that sexuality and attention, he could have worked with that. And he could have put it into her other qualities, and he could have turned her into a 10. You know what I mean? But she didn't give that energy.
No,
she was expecting him to do it, and he wasn't going to do it for her.
Yeah. JR, what do you think? Do you think type equals restriction, like El Cid said in the chat?
Yeah, if you're very specific about your type, then obviously you're already shutting down a lot of the potential dating options on the show. So I still lean towards the fact that she probably prefers someone in a somewhat higher position than her, someone she can admire for that, and maybe an attraction would grow there. But none of the guys on the show kind of met what she was looking for. So yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Man said he's a VP at a roofing company, didn't it? They make money.
Yeah.
Them roofers make money.
That was the confusing thing for me too. I mean, Khalil didn't have almost no connections, and he seemed like one of the most stable guys there from what we saw. Had a job, had a like you said, VP of a roofing company, and tall, takes care of himself, in good shape. Approachable, has a sense of humor, seemed to kind of get along with everybody. So I just don't
not
see
the guys that girls want, that the women want,
exactly.
ready to love, though. That's it. You guys understand, there's a TV aspect of this too.
Oh, okay.
So a woman wants to, in her back of her head, she wants to see herself going to the finish line with the tallest guy, the most masculine guy, who she sees the best looking guy. She don't be thinking about the other qualities until after, and then that's when she ends up blaming the man. We done seen this time and time again, when she wasn't even thinking about any of that stuff beforehand. Yeah, they just had that vision because it's a TV thing. So you're like, you know, you don't want to. You still have that dream of the princess hitting to the finish line with the king, you know. So they're definitely gonna go looks first. And you see that with the guy who didn't even have a car. You know what I mean? They're gonna.
Oh, Cisco, yeah, Cisco.
Yeah, they're gonna pursue that first because that's the vision they want on TV. The look that, hey, I'm the bad chick. I could pull the guy who looks this certain way or is this certain height or looks, you know, aesthetics, because TV is aesthetics. We're watching it on screen. Okay. So that's important to a lot of women I've seen on this show that's been on there. So it ain't get stable able works down the line and it works in the real world. But like I said, this is speed dating on steroids with a TV visual aspect. So they're gonna look visual first every single time.
Okay, so we got the next scene. So part of possible eliminations, we got Angie and Cam. They sit down for another conversation because he's still upset about the breaking the windows out in the car jazz. He's like, I need my peace. I need to be with a woman that's going to preserve my peace. So they go to have a conversation, and he lets her know that he felt disrespected when she got up, when the two of them were alone and having this conversation, and she got up and walked out. But then she turns around and says, well, wait a minute, but you walked out too when we were discussing this. He said, well, no, but there was a whole room full of people. So I didn't want to get into more details because all these other people were around and it's none of their business. But you walked out when it was just you and I. What do you think about that, JR? Did he have a good point? Did she have a good point?
Yeah, like he basically called her up and said, you know, like I think he's just concerned. He's still concerned about the fact that it could happen to him. What she was talking about with breaking out the windows and stuff. He's like, no, I don't want no parts of that. You're not going to mess up my job and come to my workplace and do all of that stuff. So you could tell he's visibly like removed from any connection with her after that. And I think she tried to salvage it a little bit, but ultimately, yeah, he was like, no, it's too problematic for me. So he was out.
Okay, Ryan, what did you think about this conversation? And is she right that he did walk out when they were having the conversation initially, but they were in the kitchen surrounded by other people?
I don't think that was her little comeback on it. I don't think it's the point. I'm like him. I don't believe an eye for an eye type of stuff in relationships. I feel like if it's getting that toxic or something, or somebody does something to you, if you're a good enough mate, the worst thing you could do to that person is to leave them and go to somebody else because you were doing your job. You were a great provider, male, or you were a great woman. You took care of that guy, stuff that he's going to need. You know, the worst thing you could do is leave if you're really doing your part. So I think a part of him is like, hey, if you can't just leave and hurt a guy and you got to go break stuff and do stuff like that, then it kind of tells me how good of a woman are you really in a relationship. So he has three kind of women that he's looking at. So he's really trying to break it down and try to break down the one. So he's analyzing everything. And guys don't like it when you break stuff. That stuff costs money. And we think of everything as investment. We think of everything as investment. And windows are $350 a piece. Nobody likes you breaking their stuff. When you're a male, you got to pay for that stuff. So that's scary to a lot of guys. Because, like I said, because of the investment aspect of it. Plus, she's believable when she says it because she already kind of got like that East Coast, yo, what up, B? Yeah, you know what I mean? She kind of got like that vibe to her already. So, you don't know what she's capable of on the first part. So I think all in together, it turned him off. It would have turned me off. I would have been him. This would have been over for me. This would have been a deal breaker, a done thing in the situation. And especially when he tried to talk to her and get some accountability, some logical response from her, it wasn't working. The communication wasn't there. So you already can't communicate with her. Period. And this is what happens sometimes. Like sometimes in Ready to Love, most of the women and men in the beginning are giving out a representative.
Mm-hmm.
And then something happens, it'd be the smallest conversation, and they lose that representative for a second. They just forget. And then you see a kind of a crink in the armor. And I think that's kind of what he saw. Like, oh, wait a minute. Nah, this is who you really are. Not who you've been putting on for the whole first part of the situation. You a little aggressive. You got, you know what I mean? These things be really going on. And I guess saw a glimpse of it for the first time. And that's where you be seeing these guys get shocked over something. You'd be like, that's a little conversation. That could be worked out. No, that's the first time he's seeing this. And he's learning now that the other stuff was kind of more a representative. And this might, we're now finally getting to the real her.
Oh, okay. JR, you agree with that? You think these people have representatives and then the real them comes out and that's what scares the person away?
Yeah, like that is true. People lead with their best foot forward, right? But as you said, the games kind of draw out more of the personality, and we see a bit more of that in the game that was played this episode as well. Like the take a shot if you did whatever. Yeah.
Let's go there. Let's go there. Take a shot game. Example, you only date one person at a time. If you only date one person at a time, take a shot. Hussein is like, if you love to push buttons while in a relationship, take a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Cam's like, if you think sex before marriage is mandatory, take a shot.
Mm-hmm.
And Cisco wants to know if you have used adult toys in the process of, making love, I'll say, right? So everybody's taking all these shots. what do you make of that, Ron? All these questions. These questions are pretty intimate.
Yeah, well, every male, and this is a male thing, we want to know two things. We want to know if you're crazy and if we getting some anytime soon. So basically what these questions are trying to braid out. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to link up with the girl who's now going to tell me that she's waiting for marriage once I get into the relationship with her. And now I'm getting stuck now. So I need to know, are you sexual? And what level is your sexualness? Because I don't want to be, I'm a freak, but she kind of is lukewarm and really not. So they're trying to prong into these type of questions and things of that nature to get more information on that. And I want to know if you're crazy or not. So I'm trying to figure out those type of things to make sure I'm not getting myself into those type of situations. And I think most men, especially the guys on here, and a lot of men in general, care about those two things. Their peace that comes with the craziness, and then the sexual aspect of a relationship.
Yeah, because when they got to the are you going to take it out for a test drive before before getting married?
And some women probably got offended, but the fact of the matter is, women got to wait. Men like sex. It is what it is. Nothing I can do about it. Nothing nobody can say. So it just, you got to just be okay with that at this point in life.
Okay. Lots of questions. Lots of people drinking. What stood out to you about this whole drinking game, JR?
I noticed that Angie drank on every sexual question that was up.
She did.
Every single, all the other questions, she was like, "Nah, I'm out." But when it came to anything sexual, she was there and taking shots. So that was the first thing that stood out to me.
Okay.
What else? I think for the most part, there wasn't too much revealed from anybody else.
Wait a minute. I got something in my notes. If you love spontaneous smex.
Yeah, and I think it was Pay that said nope.
Right. They're like, oh no, we can't make love if we're not in the bedroom and in the bed.
Exactly. The lights have to be off, pillows have to be fluffed, Yeah.
What about if you love commitments? Who took a drink on that one?
I think They all took a drink on that one.
Okay, they wanted to keep it PC, make it politically correct. What did you think about that, Ron?
Yeah, like basically people were trying. You're taking the drinks. You're going to try to. The wild questions you're going to be politically correct on for the most part, and then, like you said, you're going to try to see which women are on the fence about the sex stuff. So the men are playing the game. This is a male type of game, you know. So the men are trying to get information. But the fact that you got to play a game like this so late in the season, and you got people with still 2, 3, 4 connections, it also tells me too that they're not talking that much on the phone and on the side and stuff like that. Their communication
is
with
weak.
This group is a little meek compared to other seasons, and how we do it as castmates when it comes to communicating and getting to know the other person more. We would have been past all these questions in like day 2, day 3 in my season. So
yeah, I see what you're saying. Next up, we got Tay and Khalil sitting down to have a talk. Khalil is saying, hey, you know what? He's ready for marriage now, but he wants to wait about 5 or 6 years before he starts having any children, because he wants to have, travel the world with his wife and do all these different things and build things together before he has children. Tay is like, well, wait a minute. I'm not trying to be 40 years old having my first child. You didn't tell me this early on when we talked about it. Was he wrong to hold on to that information, JR?
Yeah, something that he could have said earlier. But to me, that was more sensible than, he says he wants to get to know his partner, travel, live some life first, and then have a child, because that can change the dynamic of the relationship. So he wants to know his partner first.
Yeah, true. But
now,
but wasn't he supposed to tell her this with the communication and everything?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He should have said it earlier. But what didn't make sense to me is, okay, so she's going to look at that as being too long. But how long is it going to take Cisco to be in that position, though? Because
That's
Cisco,
what I was wondering. Like, what?
yeah, Cisco is not in Khalil's situation. He doesn't have his own, as far as we know, Khalil has his own house too, and a good job and everything. And, some women like to travel and would probably want to get to know their partner first rather than just have a child quickly. If Tay has a child with Cisco right now, it's not going to end well. He's not in a situation where he's able to sufficiently provide for that. So I'm not sure other than the 5 to 6 years part, which probably was the reason that triggered her, but because that does sound like a long time. But
yeah, for us women who have a time clock on our productivity as far as children, yeah, we absolutely have a clock.
Exactly. So, but the thing is, she's like, so what conversations is she having with Cisco then? Is Cisco assuring her that within 1 to 2 years he'll be ready? Because she said if Khalil had told her that early on, then she probably wouldn't even developed a connection with him.
Yeah.
So Cisco has clearly either indicated that, 1 to 2 years is fine for me. But we're like, how? You're not in a position at the moment. So what's going to miraculously change within a year or two to get you to that point where you're ready for that, a family and all of that?
Okay. Ron, who's right? Who's wrong here? Is he wrong for not conveying that information to her sooner?
I don't think that was the whole point of the thing. I think one of your viewers put out saying that he was just tapping out. And because she said 3 years, he said 5. Any man gonna lie about the 2 years difference if they really want to be with that person. But he knew better. Like, when you're in a house, you're not about to go fight and compete for a woman knowing that the other guy is 80% already there. You ain't gonna do it as for respect to that castmate, that guy castmate. You're not gonna do it because you don't got a chance in hell. So you're not about to embarrass yourself. You're not gonna just go to lose. And it was just too late in the situation. So he was just kind of trying to get a way to kind of break it off easy, so it don't look like he took a loss or whatever like that, or he was competing for her, and then Cisco gets beat him out easily, which was going to happen if he would have went that route.
Okay.
So, like I said, if he was really going to compete for her and really thought he had a chance, that 5 year would have turned to the 3 year real quickly, and they would have matched up. So I don't think he said anything earlier because it was adjustable, depending on where he was at in the journey and who it was with. But at this point, you can't, that late in the game in that house, you can't win that battle as a man. You got to tap out. And he was just looking for a way.
Yeah, so El Cid was right. Khalil basically had tapped out.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, we move on to the next scene. You got Jay and Kiera, and they're still, trying to work it out about the whole thing where he was massaging Sahara, and she had her leg thrown across his leg, and they were looking all comfy, cozy. And when he saw Kiera come down the stairs, he still didn't change positions or stop or anything. So she basically said that he made her look stupid. What do you think about that, JR?
I think Kiera did over exaggerate a little bit in the way she reacted. But if she is someone who's quite possessive over her choice of partner and all of that, and she said they did discuss things before they went into the house, what would be acceptable and what wouldn't be. So him massaging Sahara's neck, no matter if it was romantic or not, she wasn't cool with him touching anybody.
Mm-mm.
So if they had that conversation, then definitely she's going to be pissed about it. But I do also think that he doesn't have a connection with Sahara that's romantic at all. I don't think he saw anything in the massage that he gave her. It wasn't like the massage that Cisco gave to Tate. It was just sitting on the couch in front of everybody and, rubbing her neck. She said her neck was hurting and he was rubbing it. And again, there was a lot of distance between them. It didn't seem like it was going to lead to anything else. So maybe Sahara was playing it up a little bit too, making noises and stuff and trying to, I think you're just trying to play spoiler in the connection between Jay and Kiera, to be honest. It was intentional by Sahara.
I felt that too. Ron, what did you think about the whole situation between Kiera, Jay, and Sahara, and him giving her a light massage on her neck?
Well, women gotta understand that as men, we don't get tons and tons of attention. So if a woman flirts with you as a male, you're going to flirt back in some kind of way. I don't care if you're a married man. I don't care if you're in a relationship. I don't care what it is. Somebody give you the hi, you gonna say hi back with it. Something as little as that is still a flirtation towards the other person, just to say, I appreciate you noticing me, because as a male, I don't get that type of attention all the time. And I think that's all kind of he was doing. It's just playful kind of flirting with it. But what she's trying to do is, I don't know how I feel about that. That's real bossy to say, you're gonna do it this way because you ain't making me feel like a fool on TV. So, you know what I mean? That's basically what she was saying.
Right.
And that's weird. Like, I'm like, when we on the show too, why do I care how you look on TV? We trying to get together and trying to get our connection and stuff going. And in the fit that she did and kind of like putting me on cold ice for 2 days, hey, I would have left that girl so quick.
Ooh, well, dang. But
yeah, because she said she did it in spite too. Oh, I had to teach him a lesson. I just gotta have him come back. So that type of games and stuff like that, as a grown man, you can't be with no woman like that. You don't got time to play no games like that with her. You gotta go, partner. You know what you about to be in line for later on in that relationship. But it ain't gonna work.
Ron, but if you flip this whole situation around, right? And it was her, and she was sitting on the couch, and let's say Cisco, and she had her leg thrown across Cisco while Cisco was giving her the little neck massage. Do you think he would have felt the same way?
Yeah, I think he would, and that's why I'm kind of torn in this too, because I was in that situation, and I'm like, the women got to understand that. One, they got to understand that men and women are different in some aspects of it. Men are kind of territorial with other men. It's just kind of is what it is. It's a double standard thing. But yeah, if a man if you were supposed to be locked in with a woman and you see that woman getting rubbed down and stuff from other men, it's going to make you feel a certain type of way. And then you have to make a decision as a man to say, hey, is this the girl I want to be? You know, because after we get done with this, we're going to be in an actual relationship, at least to everybody's eyes in America that watch the show. Can I be with a woman who made that type of judgment in that situation? You got it. It's a real question. You got to ask yourself that question as a male. So I don't want to be a double standard. It is fair for her to ask that question to him, but I said make a decision then. Don't swing them along. And I didn't like the way she did the drawn out part of it, not talking to him, giving them, you know what I mean? I understand you were mad for a second, but for that, you being mad to go on for 2 days, multiple days. Come on.
Okay, I got you. No, you just brought me to a very good question. Okay, so hold up. You would know this. I don't know this. JR doesn't know this, but I think you told us this before, but tell me again, how long is this trip actually?
It's basically 3 days. A weekend. It's a weekend trip.
So you guys leave on, let's say, Friday afternoon, Friday evening. You there for Friday night, Saturday night, and you return on Sunday?
Yeah, Sunday evening.
Sunday evening. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So
ain't a lot of days there. You know, y'all trying to get a connection, and you pull me with the cold shoulder the whole time. You basically pushing me into the other girl's arms. Really, I would have went with I would have went right. I would have switched up because you know what I mean. Y'all supposed to be sharing a room. He can't even. You know what I mean. You got that attitude in there, that energy, that vibe. You're pushing me that way.
Yeah.
And yeah. But like I said, I see both sides. I see, but they should have had a different discussion before they came in. I understand she has boundaries, and people should have boundaries on this show, but he should never agree to that boundary with her. I'd have said, I can't. You know, I'm not gonna act like I'm not gonna be friendly or talk to any other woman and stuff, so you don't look foolish on TV. That ain't what we came here for.
Okay, we came to explore all of our connections. So in the meantime, Kiara, she said, well, hold on a minute. Once they finally seemed to have come to an understanding, she said, well, let me go get Sahara so we can, all three of us at the same time, can lay our cards all out on the table. And Sahara comes out to talk to them. And Sahara was saying, well, yeah, but I kind of thought we did have something. And then that's when Jay said, he says, no, we didn't have anything. We did not have anything. So I don't know who's right, who's wrong. What did you think, JR?
Yeah, he said that straight. He's shut that down. You know, there's no connection. We didn't have no flirty back and forth texts. We ain't done nothing for you to believe that there's a connection. So, but she was like, well, you know, we check for each other. We do talk. And, you know, but Jay's like, yeah, but that's just being conversational, being friendly. That doesn't mean there's a romantic connection or any intent to pursue a relationship with you. I did think that Kiara was kind of messy for the way she went in and kind of summoned Sahara out there. You know, she wanted that answer directly between the two of them. She wanted to see that. She wanted to see Jay shut down Sahara right in front of her face and tell her, listen, this is my man. Right. But again, Kiara she's locked into Jay in a way where she feels like it's just them. So there's no need to go through the process no more. And Jay, despite maybe not being as loud or vocal about it, he's pretty much affirming her as being his top connection too, every time. So I don't think he's connected to Sahara by any stretch of the imagination. He was way too serious about, listen, let me just nip this in the bud right now so there's
Right.
no more confusion.
But why didn't he nip it in the bud instead of giving her the massage on the neck in the first place? We wouldn't even be here.
Because it wasn't romantic. He didn't see it the same way Kiera did. Kiera saw it as, if you're touching someone, then that's something intimate to do. That's something you do with someone you're interested in. And he's saying, no, like, listen, man, that is nothing. I just did that because we were just sitting down chilling and she's the homie. That's it. And Kiera got in her feelings about it. But listen, we have seen, like we discussed before, Khalil and Tay and Cisco's situation. We know that Tay and Cisco have kissed. We know that they've had dates and stuff. And Khalil has never acted up one time about it, and nor has Cisco, even though they were attracted to the same lady.
Right.
So I think the way Kiera handled it, she's a bit too strong on how she reacted, but at least Jay shut it down. He said, listen, there's no way that this was an intimate connection. And he said it to Sahara's face. So there's no mincing words. It takes two to have a connection. And if Sahara thinks there is one, I doubt it's for the right reasons either. I think it's either to make Cam jealous or for the numbers. But she's not, I don't think she's seriously into Jay like that. No way.
When you say she, you mean, do you
Sahara.
mean Sahara? Okay.
Yes. Sahara ain't into Jay like that.
Yeah, I didn't think so either.
Nah, she knows Kiera and Jay have been rocking strong since the season began. And she's just looking at, okay, well, yeah, I need the numbers. She'd been in the bottom for the first 2 episodes or whatever. So she's like, listen, I'm going to stay on here and I'm going to get with Cam, and Cam needs to make his choice. That's what she's been saying the whole time. So if she wants Cam to make a choice about her and shut down the other connections, then why is she trying to strike up something with Jay? Doesn't make sense.
Okay. Ryan, you got anything to add to that? What do you think?
You gotta understand that the game aspect of the show. They both were flirting with each other. And the reason they were both flirting with each other because they both needed each other's votes. She can't, even if they you need more than one vote. So she might not be able to save Jay, even though they got a agreement and understanding together. He needs multiple people's votes. Sometimes to stay on the show. So he was gonna flirt with her and make sure she thinks in her head that he has some kind of flirtation to her. That's why she was confused a little bit. And she was doing it back because you gotta understand, in this type of show, if I need your vote, if I don't like you and I'm not that attracted to you and we get cool as friends, I'm still gonna flirt with you a little. So when you got in a room with Tommy and stuff, you like, well, I still might be a little interested in Ron, and that might be the vote I need to save me for another week. So that's part of the show. So yes, I believe Jay was flirting with her on the phone a little bit. Not super, but it's enough that where she thought it could have been a little interest. But she has to understand that was just part of the game, and she was doing the same thing back to him, like you said, in order to get his vote also. So that's basically all you saw there. But when she brought her to to confront him with 2 girls on one, that's another red flag. He needs to run. That was messy. That was selfish. That's not how you do it. And you put him on the spot like that. That's supposed to be your man. You're supposed to be protecting him at all costs. If that's your guy, really. I don't like the way she moved this episode. I really didn't.
You talking about Sahara, right?
Yeah. With Jay's first pick, whatever.
Kiera. Oh, you didn't like the way Kiera moved.
No.
Yeah, you don't bring her over to the couch and confront him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you didn't put Jay in no safe place. You ain't worried about his safe place or how he feels. You're just worried about yourself. You have a very selfish vibe with this whole thing. It's very selfish. And that could play out to other aspects of the relationship down the line. So I'll tell them to red flag it up. That's crazy.
But on another note, like Elsa is saying, you know what? I did hear him confirm to Kiera that it was okay for her to bring Sierra out.
Yeah, he had to do it because he was in a defensive mode because he's like, it ain't nothing there. But the fact of the matter is, it was still uncomfortable. You put her in an uncomfortable situation. Jay don't want to put her in an uncomfortable situation coming out. No man really wants to put another woman in that situation anyway. It was just like in the back of his head, he's like, I got to do this to get my girl back. But why do I have to do this to get my girl back? This shouldn't even be a situation. It's how he's really thinking.
Yeah, that's how it sounded. That's exactly how it sounded, because Kiera put them both on the spot. Like, she didn't believe Jay when he said what he said. So she wanted Sahara to come out and, hash it out in front of her. And, Jay can either prove that there is no connection, or Sahara can prove that there has been some flirtation and whatever. And like I said, Jay seemed pretty matter of fact. He didn't leave no room for interpretation. He said he's not attracted to her romantically at all, basically. So that's it. That's done.
But here's where the problem is too, though. Jay doesn't seem to understand why Kiera's even upset to start with, and so right there, to me, that's part of the problem. Because he says, like, okay, if I touch this woman and I'm massaging her neck and she's got her leg thrown across my leg, I just don't get how you think that we're making out. But in all reality, most people would see that as some kind of form of flirting and physical touch. You're going too far. Jay doesn't know how to set boundaries.
Yeah, that's true. But the fact of the matter is, you can't, like, the situation she put him in by bringing her out. Before that conversation between all three of them, Jay and Sahara were still friends. Now you see how she's treating him now. Like, forget Jay. You know what I mean? Like, she's dogging him in the room and everything else now.
Oh, wait. You think Jay is giving simp vibes now?
No, not simp vibes, but I'm saying that they had a, let's say they were just friends. Let's say that was friendly. The massage was friendly. The leg was friendly. And Jay really saw her as a friend. Now that you got messy and put all three together and made me denounce her in front of her face and do all this that really didn't need to be done, now she doesn't like me no more. Now you saw her when she was in the room with Tommy and them. She was like, forget Jay. He nobody. You know what I mean? Now she's talking mess. I didn't have that problem before. you brought her there and made me denounce her in front of you and all this type of stuff. Those are the type of situations men don't want to be in on this type of show.
Yeah, but
I want to keep the peace.
Quit massaging her neck and you will have plenty of peace, and probably plenty of other things that start with a P too, if you read what I'm saying. But you over here massaging her, I mean, like I said, flip it around. If Cisco had been on the couch massaging Kiera and she had her leg thrown across his leg, do you think that he would have thought that was okay?
Yeah, like I said, it's a double standard. It really is. But he was used, like I said, he was used to flirting with her because he'd been needing her vote. You want him to cut it off just like that. You don't know if he might need her vote again.
Exactly.
He was at the bottom too. He really almost did need her vote again.
Exactly. When you look at it, who has Jay had a connection with on the show? Who said that Jay is their number one, number two, or whatever?
Kiera?
No one. Other than Kiera, nobody. Nobody right. Other than Kiera.
Mm-hmm.
So what Kiera wanted to do was make sure that she is his only connection, just like he is her only connection. And, that's it. Like, it's just them two together, and nobody else should be getting rubbed on, touched on, spoken to, conversations, messages, anything. So the process is over for them, as far as Kiera is concerned. That's her man. And without votes, though, you don't stay on the show. So I don't know who's vouching for Kiera like that.
Yes, too soon. Another week, fine. And he knows that. You, as a castmate, you kind of can feel the timing of the show while you're filming, and you're like, I'm not gonna get to go on this damn trip if I don't have another connection besides just her, because it's gonna be no drama. I'm not gonna have a real storyline. I might not be picked. So let me at least keep her, on the rocks. So I believe he was texting her and saying, hi, how's your day? Just little stuff like that. Good morning, beautiful, little things like that. He probably wasn't like saying, let's get together, let's do this and stuff, but he was flirting a little bit to kind of keep her interested enough to keep his vote.
Do you
And then
think?
you feel bad once you get into the real situation and she asks for a massage, and you're like, well, she's been holding me down. Let me get her a little massage.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Okay, but do you think he was wrong? Just pure and simple, just straightforward. Ryan, do you think he was wrong at all? If it had been you, would you have apologized to Kiera? Let's say she was your lady.
I would apologize because just the way she felt. I wouldn't apologize 10 million times like he did, but I would apologize definitely. To me, the golden rule was, I don't care if you massage or do a little something like that. Just don't kiss nobody. And I don't think he would have kissed her if she would have asked for it like that. The kissing was the most intimate thing for men. We didn't like that. So when we saw you kissing somebody, we were like, I don't want those lips no more.
Okay, so since they didn't kiss, it wasn't that serious. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I could be okay with a little shoulder rub and you know what I mean, a little something like that. But yeah, don't put your lips on nobody in an intimate way, and we good. For the most part, I can get over everything else.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You agree with that, Jenner?
Yeah, I agree with that. Kissing is kissing is a sign of intimacy. You don't kiss someone that you're just cool with. So the rubbing of the neck, and that was just from what I saw, it didn't look like a romantic connection to me. And I'm just a viewer. But in Sahara's mind, I think she was just clutching at straws, trying to make something out of nothing. And Kiera wasn't there for it. She's like, no, you nip this in the bud now. And Jay apologized in the room later that night, and she gave him the cold shoulder. Well, after she shouted at him and didn't want to look at him, she gave him the cold shoulder. And then it seemed like she was just carrying that animosity towards him earlier on in the episode when they sat down. And then obviously he needed to clear things up in front of her face in order to satisfy her that the connection is just not there to begin with. So, yeah, I think he was probably wrong to even allow Sahara to interfere with their connection like that.
But, thank you for that, Miss Wilson. Okay, I'm sorry. You know what? We almost forgot. I almost forgot this part. So during that, not only did the massage, but I don't know if Kiera is aware of this, but he slapped Sahara on the buttocks. Remember when she bent over and shook it in front of him? So yeah. Was that okay for him to do that?
Yeah, I don't think that was romantic. I don't think it was intimate. Again, it seemed playful. Why would she just walk in front of everybody, bend over in front of him and jiggle whatever she's got back there in front of him? It's just playful.
Yeah.
It wasn't romantic. It wasn't intimate.
They getting hyped.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. Like I said, he was already used to flirting with her, trying to get her vote.
Yeah, like, there's nothing in that. No, sorry. I think people are trying to... I think there's some clutching going on, like people trying to clutch at straws. No,
clutch at straws, not pearls. Okay.
Yeah, no. So Sahara was trying to do the utmost to try and build a connection because Cam has 3 connections, right? So while Cam's rotating around his connections, what does Sahara need to be doing? Striking up connections with somebody else. And unfortunately, she chose Jay, who's already in a deeper connection with Kiera than the other couples are on the show. So that's what provoked Kiera's reaction. She's now territorial because this is like, she's like, this is my man. What are you doing? And furthermore, Jay, what are you doing being my man, entertaining this Sahara? So there's no connection there. That's the bottom line. There was nothing intimate or romantic about anything that I saw, unless there's some behind the scenes footage or whatever, but I never saw Jay or even look like Jay was trying to 2-time or play the field or do anything crazy. So no,
but he was, because she said that he was in her top, so it's her job. She didn't do anything wrong. It's her job to flirt with any guy that's in her top 3. They ask who your top 3 from day one, and they ask it every single week. So it's her job to make sure she flirts with the guys that's in her top 3, and if he's one of them, she didn't do nothing wrong to go flirt with him. And if he's in her top 3, it's a reason why he's there. That means he's not on the phone telling her, don't call me. He's not like, what you calling me for? Like, that ain't the conversation they're having. They're having other conversations.
Yeah.
They're talking on a daily basis, even if it's just like I said, hey, hi, good morning, how you doing, how's work, whatever it is. So I felt like she wasn't just justification to go in there and flirt with him a little bit. He took the bait.
Well, this thing about it is that she doesn't. I mean, she being Kiera, she doesn't seem to want to let him off the hook. And even when he goes to hug her later on in their room, she's like, okay. He's like, you want to hug me. You've been wanting to hug me all day long when you called yourself angry at me. So she finally gives him a hug, but she's so smug about it. Like, I feel like she's beating him over the head with this whole situation.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, and I don't think that's fair. I think, if you have a problem with a person, have the conversation about it, get their side of the story, get an understanding. Seems like to me she should have got an understanding with Jay when Sahara came out and Jay said in front of Sahara that there was nothing going on between them. That should have been, for me, that should have been an understanding. Do you think?
He said it was never about that understanding or things of that nature. She knew where he like that's why he was confused. Like, where I'm at. She wanted to really nail it to him. You know what I mean? It was that
Yeah, that's it.
Stuff. You know what I mean? And that's where the red flags are coming in. The controlling, let me really gut punch him, let him know his place, the demasculation, all that stuff that's all coming together is giving me red flags on her. Like, and he's kind of stuck with her now because have another option, but that ain't gonna work.
Yeah, that's true. You got a very good point. So we slide over to the next conversation, and basically, and I just put this up because this is the way I be feeling through this whole season. Like, I feel like Sahara. Like, what is going on here? You got Angie and Hussein having a conversation, and Hussein, he just seems very laid back and very respectful to the whole thing, but he says he wants to take this to the next level. But Angie says, on the other hand, she says, I'm just so independent. I'm not used to allowing a man in to help me. I'm not accustomed to that. I don't even know what that even feels like or even looks like. And then on his part, he says he just wants love and understanding. JR, what's really going on here between these two?
Not much, by the looks of things.
Yeah, not a real connection, you think?
Nah, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. I don't even have much to elaborate on. There's nothing. There's nothing there.
Nothing there. Nothing between Hussein and Angie?
No, I doubt it. I don't see that working at all. I mean, some people may say opposites attract in this situation, but nah, I doubt it. I probably see Hussein with Rose, but not Angie.
Okay.
I think he's attracted to her.
You think so?
I think he's attracted to her, and it's sometimes that trauma. She got a lot of trauma. That trauma suck you in a little bit for for a second. It gets enough. It sucks you in. Like I said, I don't think there's anything he's gonna go to the depths with. But yeah, she's telling you a sad story and making you feel like you got to come to the rescue and things of that nature. We fall for that as men a lot for a brief period of time until we wake up. But
You know what? I never saw that as possibly being manipulative, Ron. You could be onto something. You really could be onto something, like trying to
give a man a good sad story.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing we're gonna want to do is we're gonna want to protect you. We're gonna want to prove that we're different than the other person. We're gonna get into that mindset. So that's all it takes is for her to shoot out a sad story, and she had her makeup done and stuff in that scene. She looked good. You could tell he was sucked in a little bit. He was thinking of it as a possibility. But I think it's more short. I think it was more of a short-term emotional burst instead of that being, like Jar said, built on some substance or something that's gonna that could last even to the duration of the show.
Okay, so for the next scene, we got Rose and Cam having their sit-down conversation. Rose tells Cam that she's having fun, but Cam says that he wants more quality time. And she tells him, well, you're too busy. You got 3 top connections. I'm only one of them, but you got the other 2 ladies that you are with. So what's up? What's up with that? JR, what's up with that? Oh, JR, you there? Go ahead, Ron.
Like I said, I think she has a kind of cool personality. Like it's that personality is gonna suck you in. She's kind of like the Kyra on my season to the guys. Like
Yeah.
They can see themselves with her because her personality is so cool. And when you're dealing with all the stress of the show and all the you can't trust nobody and all this stuff that's going on around you, just having a cool person who seems like they're genuinely being themselves all the time and they're really nice and stuff to, and just have a natural personality. It's like a breath of fresh air. It's like the sun just woke up. Mm-hmm. So she has that. And that's why those 2 men are going to fight probably to the end for it. But because I think she's the only one that really possesses that quality on here right now. So she basically, I think she's confident that she has her pick, and we'll see how that plays out. But all that you got 3 connections, all that stuff coming in. She's gonna have to favor one of the guys, and
right.
Yeah, and I guess it's gonna depend on if one messes up, then the other one wins by default. If one, you know what I mean?
Right.
It more work, he might outwin the part from there, or or whatnot. But if she hasn't made a decision right now, I guess it's still kind of open enough. Like somebody could still fumble it.
Right, that's true.
And I wouldn't put it cross her to make a last minute switch either. You can't trust these women. You ain't ready to love women. It's hard to trust.
Who's she going to switch to?
You think Rose might make a switch at the last minute?
Yeah.
So who, Cam?
Yeah. Who do you think? You think she gonna pick Cam or Hussein, the taller one?
I don't know. I guess right now it's leaving to Hussein, but they do that to you. Like the women that flirt to Hussein, and he'll think he got it in the bag. And then last minute, she'll have an emotional epiphany and switch. Leave him high and dry. Like he ain't never did nothing for her.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Sorry, I was muted before, but yeah, I don't think Rose would switch to Cam. Like the fact is, the 2 main sticking points with Cam is that, first of all, he doesn't go to church and he isn't interested in that. Second of all, he doesn't have children. So his experience in probably having a role in raising a child that she has, then that also is something that she'll be concerned about. But I can see Rose with Hussein. They seem to match well. And, it might be worth taking a shot, because if you look around at who's left, Cam seems to still be trying to keep his connections for some reason. It's too, he should be trying to narrow it down. But
he's done with that one girl that he got to get. They're done.
Oh, Angie.
Yeah, done with
Angie.
Angie. Right. Done with Angie. But I mean, he still has Sahara there and Rose as well that he's talking to. So
I don't think he's gonna pick Sahara, because here's the thing with some of the guys' psyche here, and this is not right, and this is kind of inside details. The men too also understand that this is a TV show, and they want Sarah's not really the popular girl.
No, she's not.
And as a man, your ego kicks in, and you want the more popular female on the show. You just really do, because like the woman wants the tall, handsome guy to walk to the end. You want to walk with the girl who you feel that everybody wanted in there and things of that nature. And that woman is Rose. So Cam is going to fight to the end, tooth for nails for Rose, and he might lose to Hassan, but that I think that's where he's winging towards, because like I said, him and that one girl is done. And then like I said, I think his other connection is going to be the next one eliminated, female wise, because I just think that's
Sahara.
Yeah. I just think nobody really was taking her very seriously for some reason.
Nah, they're not checking for her. They haven't been the whole time, but
Yes.
she's meant to stay on.
He ain't gonna. He's the type of guy. His ego is too there to get with the woman that nobody was checking for. He's not gonna do that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but he's still been hugging up on her. You know, on the ride to the retreat, he was hugged up with her and he's telling her that, you know, she's still his number one connection and things like that. And he's been quite
easy to flirt with.
Talking about Cam and Rose
yeah,
on the way up.
talking about Cam and Sahara and Cam and Rose. So what I'm saying is he's been booed up with Sahara on the way to the retreat. He's been reaffirming her that she's his top connection and things like that, but still been dating around. I don't think Rose will choose him, to be honest. She made too much of a big deal about what he had, you know, his lack of experience with raising a child in the church thing. That didn't go anywhere, you know. So
yeah, the whole church thing, right?
Exactly. So I think the same.
Still having 3 connections at this point is scary to every female.
Exactly.
Like, you ain't supposed to have 3 connections at this point in time.
Yeah.
You have done you have not narrowed down anything, and you have nobody really in stone. So I think he's kind of still floating in the wind. I think like you said, he made a decision on that one girl. Just throughout the conversation, she's out, and he's trying to narrow down other 2. But he thinks he has more power. Like I'm with you, Jared. I think he thinks he has more power in this decision than he really does.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, like you said, the one girl you about to go to war and fight for already is probably gonna pick another guy. And then by that point, the girl that nobody wants, that you kind of got on the back burner and stuff like that, is probably A, gonna get eliminated, or B, not gonna choose you. So
he doesn't have as many.
You think he has a lot of power?
Choices,
he has 3 connections. He thinks he can sit back and do this and do that.
Yeah,
and it always bites the guy in the ass when they play it that way on the show.
Oh, that's so sad. That's so sad. But speaking of massages, you got Tay and Cisco. He gets her to lay out, and he's gonna work his magic with his powerful hands and just detense her and decompress her. So he's massaging on her, and they are vibing with one another, and they also kissing, as Jason would say. What did you make of this scene between these two? Because I'm still trying to understand Tay. Like, I thought Tay would be smarter than this. It's almost starting to remind me of Love is Blind, Katisha and what's his face?
Javon.
Yeah. It's kind of giving me those vibes. Like, she's saying, like, I noticed is my usual type, and it never works out with my usual type, but here I am again.
With the usual type.
With the usual type. The guy that don't have no place to call his own.
Right. I think for Tay, it must be more about his aesthetics. She said that when she's in his company, she feels like he provides everything she needs. But you know,
like
coming
a
off
home, like having a home.
She don't need that. She got one of her own. She don't need that. She's talking about from a security standpoint when she's in his arms and how it makes her feel when they're together. But when they come off the show, that's when the rubber's going to meet the road. And if he doesn't have a stable home, then how does that work? And is she going to be comfortable dating someone that isn't in a situation that she can, you know, build on with him? Or is she going to have to build him up? Now, it seems like he's in a situation where he's trying to recover from previous relationship. And in my opinion, he needs to recover fully before he even come on the show. Because, but I think he's eye candy. You know, a lot of ladies will see him tall, dark, chocolate, salt, pepper, bilingual, well-spoken, and you know, that may be his major selling points to make them forget about the housing situation and the stability and things. You know, he's a former bodybuilder, former model. Right. You know, so
we see that from this picture. We can see he takes care of his body, and he's tall, and like you said, he's chocolatey. A lot of ladies like that.
Right. He made money from that body too. So, you know, he's visually quite attractive to her, and she's willing to make a go of it despite his situation. And like we said earlier, her time frame of wanting to have a child within the next year or two. What conversations have they had about that? Because he ain't in a position to do much now. So what's going to miraculously change in a year or two to make him stable and able to have a child with her?
Ron, what you thinking about this couple?
I think kudos to Cisco because he's playing this 100% right. Break out the massage oil, do everything sexual that works in your advantage. Do not talk about anything about job, stability, life after. Don't talk about none of that. Use your sexuality to bring her in. that's your weapon. Use it. Don't use nothing else. So everything should be that way. Be sexy. You're supposed to be the sexy guy for her. Be the sexy guy for her. Don't talk about none of that other stuff for right now. Don't even remind her the fact that you don't got no stability and things of that nature. And I've talked to Cisco in person. I like him. He's a good dude. But eventually, I think women have to start admiring other stuff about the guy. And it usually is the work ethic, or it's usually certain things. Like I said, I think he's a good guy. I think he's nice and he treats people kind and things of that nature. But if he's thinking that after this show, he's going to get some type of opportunities that's going to change his career and his life, that's not how Ready to Love works. There's opportunities, but you have to work twice as hard or 3 times. And Ready to Love ends up just being like a resume booster on it. It's not something that's going to get you the opportunity. So if you didn't have the work ethic beforehand, it ain't going to happen for your partner. It's just not. You had to already had the work ethic. Right. Get any kind of real boost of opportunity or something in another lane that you might try to go. And a lot of people think opposite. They think, oh, once I get off the show and I was there with my muscles and somebody going to see me, they're going to discover me. I'm going to get all these opportunities and stuff. And that ain't how it works. People I've seen that got opportunities that's been on this show was already headed toward those opportunities before the show. They were already had the work ethic. It was already going there. They were already him. Wait a minute. A little resume booster on it. You know, it looked like it gets a little bit on it, but it ain't enough. So I think after that, he has to have a plan B. He has to have a work ethic. He has to have some stable stuff in place. I think he likes her genuinely. I think he's going to pursue her hard even after the show. I think they make it to the end. And I just think he ain't gonna be able to sustain it. It's gonna be too much pressure on him. But for right now, don't talk about none of that. Cisco, get sex. Sure, bring the sex appeal to her and blind her enough for you to make it to the end.
I can't believe in their 30s though. I can't believe women are still just falling for the just sex appeal only.
That women love looks. Telling you.
Yeah, these generation of women really do. They don't appreciate, guy having a stable employment, his own
Especially
place.
on a show like this, where it's like I say, it's moving real fast, and you don't really got enough time to really dig into the other aspects because you're fighting for your life every week to stay on the show, and you try to make connections, you're doing all this type of stuff. She's not even thinking about the other stuff, and it's kind of like. What she finally does, what's going to happen is she might be cool. She might say, okay, I can help this man. I can ride for this man. And she might put him in certain opportunities or have certain ideas and stuff for him to get on his feet faster and make some money. But what she might find out is the work ethic's not there to back up what she had. And that's going to really turn her off. I've seen it before with other cast. I can give no names.
Well, I mean, do you think she's gonna be happy? Because I gotta say this, Ryan. We talked about this last week, and you weren't here then. I went to look up what she does. Do you know this lady could be making upwards of $250,000 a year in a major city, which she is in, Philadelphia? Do you think a woman like that earns that kind of income and has that kind of power, do you really think she's gonna want a guy that doesn't have his own place?
I'm torn. Because in my opinion as a man, I say she should. But in my experience with women, she won't. So it's like, if she wants to get eye candy at the house and she making $250,000 a year and she's going to want to pay some bills and have a man there and support his whatever he's doing on the side and stuff, and he's making her happy, I think a woman has the power to do that because like a man has the power to do that. Men, we do it all the time. Why can't she do that?
Okay, true.
Yeah, I said this is my belief. But the fact of the matter is, the outside noise is gonna get in her hair. But like the society doesn't play that. Her friends, her family ain't gonna play that. It's gonna be too much involved with that. And then what she's gonna do is she's gonna try to hyper stimulate this guy in order to get his income up real quick in order for she to keep him. It makes sense, or she get people out of her ear. And he ain't built that. He ain't built that way. The talent, the work ethic, all that stuff. He's not a serial entrepreneur. That set. So she has to be realistic, and I hopefully that she's thinking about it and being a little realistic of what this guy's real ceiling is financially at this point, because he's not lying to her. He's letting her know, yo, this is what it is. Women start looking at potential and they say, oh, well, if I do this and do this, and he does this guy might be making $300,000 in 2 years. Bullshit. You might not ever see $300,000. Whatever he was making before, if you, even with your motivation, add 20,000 to it, add 30,000 to it. That's where he's at. And those men deserve love too. And I think those men are good men. I think Cisco's a phenomenal man. Good dude. Mm-hmm. But would she be realistic and say, hey, if he only making $60K a year or something like that, can I be okay with carrying the rest of the load and being okay with it? My answer is it should be yes, if you love him. But for some reason, especially in our society and Black society, it don't work that way. And I don't know. I don't have the answer to it. I really don't.
Okay. El Cid is saying out in the chat, she's saying that he needs to come in with a $300K salary. But why?
Where you gonna get it from? Where's he gonna get it from?
Yeah,
he ain't got it yet. He's 40 something.
Right. He's like what, like 42?
It don't just happen overnight. The skill, the resume, the talent, the work ethic. You don't just wake up and have an epiphany. People be thinking this. This would be the weirdest thing about our culture of Black people. I got women every day. Oh, I'm gonna just take a real estate class at 39 years old, and I'm gonna be a millionaire in 2 years. They really believe this crap. It don't work that way. You would have already been on your way there. You didn't need her motivation. You didn't need nothing. You would have been on your way there. She wouldn't even been worried about it. Even if you don't have it yet, she'd have been like, dang, I done seen his work ethic and the stuff he got in place. Oh, he's about to blow up. It ain't there. So can you be okay with the reality fact that this guy might just be a regular average making Joe money-wise? And if he's okay with that and he's not lying about it, can you be okay with that? It's a real question.
Yeah. I think Cisco's just going to keep, every time the career conversation comes up or the finances, all he does is whip off that shirt, and it's like
that's what he needs to do. That's how you play your role. He's very smart, intelligent guy. You play your weapon.
Exactly. It's literally like the neuralizer in Men in Black. Like she'll forget the whole conversation and just be looking at the muscles.
Golly, this great accomplished woman. All it takes for her is to see his abs, his six pack, and his bulging muscles.
That's all he's got to offer right now.
Cisco's going to end up getting hurt, and that's the part that nobody gives a damn about and nobody cares. He's going to be the one that gets hurt in this situation. It won't be her. And he's going to really be hurt. Men, we feel emotional and pain and stuff on this show just as much as the women do. But we just got to take it. And it's painful. And I think it could be a situation where he could end up being the one that's heartbroken and hurt down the line because he's playing it right. He's being honest. He's being this. He's being that. And if it's not enough, he needs to flat out tell him. Or, you know what I mean? Like, because he's going to put his all into it after. Okay, we made it to the end. I like her. This is my girl. She's okay with where I'm at. Let's get this thing ramping up. I want to ramp this relationship up. I want to get it going. And then, if she throws him to the side after that, he's going to be heartbroken.
Because that's probably what's going to happen after the show is over.
Yeah, but then, that's not his fault. Why should he be heartbroken? Like, what? Nobody cares about Cisco now? Like, in his feelings and
We care.
He's a man,
We
you know what I mean?
really, really do care. But what the people want to know is, Cisco, what is going on between you and your
He's
mama
not
and your
playing her. Look at the comment
grandmama?
right there. It said he's playing her. He's not playing her. He really likes her.
Oh yeah, of course. Why wouldn't he? She's beautiful. She makes $250K a year. Why wouldn't he like her? There's no reason not to
But
like
why
her.
is they saying he's playing her? He's telling her the truth. Be different if he lied to her about it.
Well, okay. You said because he confessed that right now he doesn't have his own place.
He doesn't have it right now. He's letting her know
doesn't
up
have
front.
Okay.
He's I can give you that massage. I can give you, you know what I mean? I can be loyal.
I guess what we
I
the
can do
viewers.
all this type of stuff. He don't got no eyes for no other women. Like he's doing it the right way. He's playing it the right way, and those guys get hurt because they're like, "Yo, I did everything. I did everything correctly."
Well, I guess what we the people want to know is what is his game plan to get back in the game and have his own place, get his own car. That's what we the people need to know.
Why? He got to do it at his own pace. She just got to support him. That's all he's asking for, her loyalty and her support.
Well,
the only problem with her though is she has different tastes. Them women that make it 253, they got expensive taste. They spend a lot of money. So if she want to go to a certain concert or certain stuff like that, he might not be comfortable with flipping the bill for that. Or he ain't going to Martha's Vineyard once a year and seeing them damn $600 rooms and be like, what the world? You know what I mean? At night and say, what the heck is this?
Right.
So yeah, so she might have to tone how she's
her lifestyle
doing things down. Yeah, lifestyle.
She's not gonna want to do that, Ron, and you know that.
She should want to do that, but I'm saying she should want to do that for your man. What you know what I mean? But it's a trade-off. Like a lot of women don't want to do that, and that part I don't understand.
Okay.
Women got to be in a situation where if you want to be all independent and you say women are making all this money and y'all doing your thing and you want a man, you want a husband, she wants a family, she wants a kid.
Right.
Your man might be making less money.
I think that's very.
Especially
that's
if you want a good looking
true.
one. Especially if you want a good looking one, because they could get a man that makes more money, but a lot of times that dude uses the money to get women. So he has a gut. He got the glasses on. This, you know what I mean? You know, he's not aesthetically pleasing to the female. So y'all got to make some decisions. Y'all can't have all everything. God dang, y'all got to choose a struggle.
And maybe say, yeah, she can forget about any concerts if he's paying for it. Maybe we can do a comedy show or something. You know what? You wrong, Mimi. You wrong for that.
Let her flip the money. Let her pay.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. Let her pay, but you don't think she's gonna get tired of that. And then here's the thing, Ron, because you know men have to be respected. You guys, you demand respect, you want respect, right? You want it, especially from your woman. How is she? Do you think she's gonna be able to respect him after a year or two when she sees that his drive still hasn't picked up and he's still not, meeting the mark as to what she thinks he, and it doesn't have to be the exact same amount that she makes, but it could be doubling his income within a year or two. And maybe that's an unrealistic goal.
His income is low. Double what double gonna do? He's never gonna be her. They're never gonna match incomes. It's not gonna happen. He don't have it in him. So that's out the question. Now he might be able to have a kid with her. He might be able to be a good father. They could have a certain type of family. They got to map it out a certain way, but she's gonna have to sacrifice some things in that apartment, and she should sacrifice that because you wanted the good looking model man. That comes with something. You don't get the good looking model man who's making $1 million and driving, you know what I mean, and faithful and this and all this type of stuff that's on your list. Nobody gets that. This ain't Merry Christmas with this ain't how it works when you snap your fingers and that pops up. You're gonna have to give up something. So if you say, hey, my man needs to look like this, he might not be rich. You got to be okay with that. Or I got a lot of men that does not look nowhere near Cisco that's making $300,000, $400,000 a year. Let me show you how some of these older men look, and see if you want that.
Right.
What's the decision you're gonna make there? Like the dudes that look like Cisco, because here's the thing is he's not gonna have no problem getting a woman. He looks good.
Mm-hmm.
So she's still gonna be have admiration for him and stuff like that because she knows he can still replace her. he's getting attention from women wherever he goes. So he's looking at it like, you know what I mean? If you do kick me out or something like that, yeah, I'll be heartbroken and hurt, but I'm still gonna have women in my DMs. I'm still gonna have women hitting me up. I'm still gonna have women that want to go on a date or even take me on a date, because there's not that many good-looking men in my age bracket with the silver hair. I'm a silver fox. You know what I mean? Those guys are a certain portion of black men. Black men don't take care of themselves that well in their 40s and 50s. A lot of these dudes are looking sloppy out here. So he's gonna stand out in his own way. So if she wants some eye candy, baby, you gotta pay. It's like, as men, we do the same thing. We want our girl to look a little certain way. We know it's expensive. We pay a little money to get that.
Oh, okay. Felicia breaking it down for us, because she got stories up here. The story time, real story. Felicia says,
Okay.
I know this federal judge that was dating a musician that made way less money than her. He needed a car, so she gave him her old BMW, and she just went and bought a new one. Okay, so that's a point.
Gotta
right?
pay to play. Gotta pay to play.
Pay to play.
Gotta pay to play.
Right.
But, and I like it when a woman do that, because put your money where your mouth is. Put your money just like the men. You want to talk about all this money you making and you successful, you doing that? Fine, independent woman. Put your money where your mouth is.
Well, dang.
Pay for that good looking man that you want.
Oh Lord.
It's like we've been doing it for years, man. If I see
that's the way it's set up to be that way.
If we even gonna be traditional, if we or not, if it ain't gonna be a traditional relationship, then everything is up for grabs. Then after that, it don't have to be traditional then.
Oh Lord.
So who cares who pays then? We're not in a traditional relationship. You're not a traditional woman. You say you ain't about to cook. You told me you ain't about to wash no damn dishes. You ain't about to do this. You ain't about to do that. All you telling me what you're not about to do. You make $250,000. You independent. So we already know we're not about to have a traditional relationship. So at that point, who cares who pays?
Okay. We might have a maid, but see, I'd be scared to have a maid unless she was, like maybe about 90 years old and, Haggerty or whatever, because you can't trust those maids. You can ask Maria Shriver about that. You can't trust those maids in there.
You might not need a maid. Cisco can do the dishes. Cisco might cook. It just might be a reverse role.
Cisco might be the house husband.
Yeah, he might be a house husband. I think he'd be I talked to the guy. I think he'd be a very good house husband. Actually, I think that's his skills. I mean, his skill set.
You did not say you talked to Cisco and you think he would be a good. Well, he does.
I think he'd be good at that role. I think he'd make her happy. He's just a good dude. You know what I mean? He don't mind probably chefing it up for her, you know what I mean? Doing some stuff around, you know what I mean? To help her out and support her and still, do his little stuff on the side. But we have black people have not seen that type of relationship work in order. We don't know what it even looks like. So it's like figuring it out. It's the hard part.
Okay. You may be on to something, Ryan, because I am seeing this, and I'm finally at my advanced age. I'm finally beginning to understand that relationships are going to be different for this generation that you're in, and the generation coming up behind you. It's going to be different. It's going to look different, and it may not always be the way like the 50s, like Leave It to Beaver, where the wife stays at home and cooks lasagna all day long and cleans up the house. Yeah, those days they're pretty much over.
My coworker is dating a doctor. She's a big time doctor now. She's making all this money. He told her, like, when she was in, he makes a good salary, but when she was in medical school, he paid her bills. Now that she's a big time doctor, she makes 4 times more than him, 5 times more than him. He let her know, hey, I don't care if I get promoted 3 times. I'm not going to make as much money as you. You got to be okay with that. I did take care of you earlier, what I mean? But we this has to work a certain way, and they make it work. 3 kids now and things of that nature, and they're getting together. But we have to know how that looks in our community, because some of these women who are way high on the scale and still want a man to look a certain way, a certain aesthetic to them and things of that nature, might have to date lower on the salary scale. And that's just the truth of the matter. Can you do it? How does it look?
JR, jump in. What do you think about this conversation of in our community of relationships changing, the dynamics changing, and women sometimes earning more than the men? How do you think people make that work?
It's a valid question. I mean, nowadays you are seeing a lot more women earning higher and professing how much they earn too. So in that case, they're expecting any guy that's a potential match to either be on the same level or making more than they are. And there isn't too much of that level of excelling in the men's category for these women to choose from. And so it's slim pickings. And that's what Ron was breaking down earlier. The type of, if you want to be specific about wage requirements and living status and all these different things, it's very rare. Hardly ever do you find someone who's perfect in every single category that you have. So, in the modern dating aspect, sometimes a woman will be earning more than the guy. And if it's a deal breaker or it's something that she feels that strongly about, that she shouldn't be earning more than the guy that she's with, then unfortunately, you should just let the guy down as gently as possible and move on. Wait for your opportunity with the guy that you're actually looking for. But Cisco's qualities, I mean, we obviously the aesthetics, but he does have qualities like she described. She makes him feel. He makes her feel safe, and things like that. So that's a quality that some men have in abundance, but they may not have their finances right. So, she just has to see the trouble.
And isn't he bringing in 2 more children to the situation? I mean, not saying that children aren't a blessing, but he's going through a divorce. Didn't I hear mention that there were some children involved too?
And if there is, that adds more of a financial constraint. So even if he is earning a lower salary, a lot of that's being divided up into child support and possibly alimony and other different things. So the chances of him snapping out of his current situation miraculously and earning 300,000 plus, I don't know how that's going to happen. And if she wants kids as well to add on to the 2 that he potentially has, then that's going to be even more finances. So I don't think Cisco's ready. And if those are the things that she's considering and what makes him a man or what makes him the ideal choice, then he's not the one for her. But if she's going,
if I'm Cisco, I'm asking, I want full access to the bank account. I want full put a credit card in my name. We're sharing everything.
Ooh, what?
I want it all because I'm coming in. I didn't lie to you. I'm doing exactly what I said. You know what I mean? I told y'all I was struggling. You like the way I make you feel. You like my look. I'm cool with having more kids. All your deal breakers I checked off. So if this is just about some money. Oh no, you ain't about to be stingy with me with it. No, I want access. We share. We have a group account now. That's what we working towards.
Okay.
I'm not gonna let that get in the way. You ain't gonna hold that over my head through the whole relationship. So we're gonna make it very clear that I don't make that type of money. I ain't about to make that type of money, and I want access to yours.
Right.
As we, together. You know what I mean? But we ain't about to play that. You boss me around because you make 250 and I make 50.
What do you think about Miss Wilson's observation that Tay, if anything happens between her and Cisco, she definitely needs a prenup?
Yeah, I still get a prenup. I'm not gonna be one of those people that I believe men should get a prenup. So I ain't gonna say a woman should get one either in such situations. Even though we've been cheated in the court as men, I'm still saying, hey, yeah, she should get a prenup. And I think he would sign a prenup. I don't think he's there to use her. I think he's genuinely attracted to her and likes her personality.
Exactly.
Like I said, she is a cute girl. Like she's very good looking. Yeah,
she's very pretty. I think
she's loyal. I think she's wholesome. I think he likes that part about her. She got a little, you know what I mean? I think he's kind of a slow roller pace. He's a slow roller pace himself.
Mm-hmm.
I see a connection, but he got to be real. I wouldn't let that money get in the way, so I'm gonna make that clear at first. I'm gonna have her paying for stuff on purpose just to get her used to it. That's gonna be the majority of the life.
And
like,
also,
get that dinner. Get that check. Get that tab. Get that check.
And
Could
also,
could you live like that, JR? Just a what if? Could you live like that, you think? If you had a woman that was earning a lot more significantly more than you earn, would you be okay with being a house husband?
someone's got to take care of the kids, and if she the kids she wants in 1 to 2 years, who's going to take care of them? Well, she's got this high powered job. She's probably going to want to go out to work and keep that job and keep that money coming in. So somebody has to be there for the formative years. I wouldn't mind doing it.
Okay. Wait a
Here's the
minute.
I'm
part
still
that
make my money.
people
I'm
don't
gonna
talk
still make my
about.
money. I'm not gonna let no girl have financial
Okay.
control over me. Absolutely
Right.
not.
So
But
you're gonna still like do working from home because you can do things that you
yeah,
do at home on
exactly.
the
I'm
internet.
not. I'm
Different.
not just gonna retire from the workforce because my girl's got 250K, and the job. So jobs. People can get fired and laid off at any time, unfortunately. So But I have not seen Cisco make any reference to how much she earns being a factor in his attraction to her. So I think
Well, of
whether she was
course
making
not.
250K or 25K, he still thinks she's a cute girl and he would give it a shot with her.
You give it a shot. He don't care what she makes.
You give it a
Yeah.
shot.
And here's the part that you gotta put in consideration. Some of them women don't feel like themselves. Their power is in their money. Some of her power within herself is in her fact she makes $250,000 a year. He might not be able to hang with a dude that makes more. Like they were getting a little Mr. Mom's comment on the panel. Let's give them, don't get it twisted and stuff. I make her money or more. So when you're dealing with a guy who makes more money, she might not be used to that. She might not be able to be comfortable in that. She might feel better as the breadwinner or feel her power is in money. And I've learned that when I've dated a woman who made a lot of money and she lost her job and she totally disappeared for the relationship.
What?
And I'm like, why did she leave? Like, what's going on? I'm here to support her. I got her back. She don't feel the same. She don't feel that same power and that same energy she did when she was making that money and had that control.
Oh, so the money becomes like with men, like they feel like they lose their whole
that self-care and control.
everything.
Now you got to ask me for, you know what I mean? Like they can't live like that. So
and that's because they lead with their job and how much they earn.
Job. So a lot of these women need a guy like Cisco in real life. They don't want to admit it because it ain't what's popping on the internet or in their social media, or it's not what their friends would approve of. But in the reality of their situation, they feel better being the breadwinner. They feel better having the advantage financially. They feel better. Their power is in that. Okay. They feel more powerful with that. And when you're dating a man who looks like him, you're going to want some power. Because like you said, this guy's your man walking down the street with his shirt halfway off and women are going up to him left and right saying, touching his muscles, not asking your permission and things of that nature. Right. You're going to want to hold over his head that, hey, keep that up, Cisco, and you ain't going to have a place to stay tonight.
Well, speaking of all those women running up, touching his muscles, the point is he cheated in his prior relationships and she keeps taking cheaters back. Are you okay with that, Ron?
I mean, it's a red flag. If I gave the girls red flags, I'm going to give them a red flag too. Cheating and looking like that and kind of like digging in women's insecurities is not cool. Because you understand his power within her. He understands his power within a man going to that's why he's going to the gym and he's keeping up with that stuff like that. And you can make a woman feel real insecure walking around like that. That's what I'm saying. That's why a lot of women is going to want to have a financial advantage over him. And probably a reason why he hasn't really got his stuff together as is.
Oh, you know what? Wait a minute, Ron, you might be onto something. What if his wife, who he's estranged from, what if that was the dynamic in their relationship as well?
Oh, I believe it was. That's the only reason why you leave a relationship on your ass is if the woman had more control of the money.
Right. Oh, I never thought of that.
Yeah, the reason why he's on his ass is because she was paying for a lot of stuff. Like he basically just got kicked out with the clothes he had.
As they say, the clothes on his back, huh?
Yeah, the clothes on his back because when you look like that, you would get a woman that makes some money that don't mind paying for some things around. You know what I mean? It's the way it works. Okay. And they like having that power over you. They like saying, "Oh, you ain't about to go out with the guys to 12 o'clock at night with women around. You come back or give me the keys to my car back." And what the guy got to do? He gonna be walking, or he gonna get, he gonna come back home? And she had, and it plays off her insecurities because a lot of women can't date a man that's walking around with his shirt off, looking like that, and still be secure, unless they got something over his head. And that's just a dynamic situation. It's always been around.
Well, okay, so we meet up in the ladies' lounge. You got the 5 women left. And basically, I'm not going to go over the ladies' lounge because it's basically a rehash of everything we just talked about. They basically told Tommy, this is what it was. This is what happened. This is the argument. Jay and Kiera and Sahara had a disagreement. And there's, these 3 ways with Cam. He's got 3 women. And Rose is not sure if he really wants her. Sahara seems to be like she's holding on to a card or something. I don't know. Sahara knows something that we don't. But what do you think, JR?
About the ladies' lounge?
Yeah. And about like, does it feel to you at all like maybe it's just me that Sahara seems to be holding on to some information, or she seems to be cocky, like she knows something we don't know?
Yeah, I mean, Rose intimated that she has a deeper connection than the other ladies do, and they were like, "What? What makes you say that? You don't know what we got going on." But Rose is quite confident that she's going to land her guy, and I think there was some shade thrown in that comment too, which is why Sahara got, I saw Sahara and Angie kind of adjusting himself in the chair to say like, what? What, you think your connection with him is better than ours? No, prove it. And I don't think Rose needed to prove it. She's quite confident that the times that they've shared, the conversations they've had, she just let her connections do their rounds, and she thinks, may the best woman win. And she feels like she's the best woman.
Yeah, I think so. I see. Yeah, there's some chemistry. There's some interesting chemistry with her and Cam. Yeah. Ryan, what do you think about when they were in the ladies' lounge? Do you feel like there's something that stood out to you during that scene?
No, I think kind of what he said. Got real confident women. They kind of said it. So even when she said, the girl was flirting with the neck rub and stuff like that. Yeah, she said, I really wasn't intimidated by her. She made a statement. She's like, I was just basically just sticking it to him. Because I'm not intimidated by no girl. You know what I mean? She was standing on her square as a confident woman. Like, I'm gonna get what I want out this situation. But somebody's gonna lose.
Yeah. As you know, we're gonna be at the bridge before you know it. And
somebody's gonna lose. So like one of them girls gonna be out. So.
Right. And then hey, Ryan, even more importantly, then we got the reunion, and that's when we find out that none of these people were tied together. None of them.
Well, here's what I'm trying to understand. I know I haven't been in any other panels and stuff like that, but I would think in my head this was already filmed all the way through, and then they get through the break in there, gets to throw it in.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay.
So in reality, you have the season, you have about a break, about a 3-week break. Then they bring them back in to film the reunion.
Okay.
Before about a week before the kind of about mid-season within this showing on TV. As I said, the break throws everything off how it's usually filmed and showed.
Okay.
From a production standpoint. But I would think you would already. Yeah, it's weird. Like, I would think you would film the reunion right after, and they get put on a break. But why would you trust these people on a break for so long and not giving out no information for 6 months like that? I don't understand.
Right? I know, right? That's a lot. That's a whole lot. Plus, I think it kind of took the momentum away from the show this season.
Oh yeah, it was a horrible idea.
Yep.
And I know fans were saying that, and production listens, but they got to throw stuff in there to kind of spice the show up a little bit because it's really, the show's really segmented the same way. You know what I mean? So it gets predictable. It gets sometimes in they're just trying to look for new ways to kind of spice it up. I don't think this one worked, but you got to try it. try step in the box and see what works and what not.
Yeah. Okay. And so in our final scene, we got, or two scenes, we've got, the ladies taking the men out to eliminate them basically. So you got Rose with Khalil on the date, and you got Kiera and Jay. And basically we know that Khalil was the one that got eliminated. So do you think they eliminate the right person, JR?
He has no other connections, so he was the obvious choice. But in terms of what he may bring to a relationship, I'm not so sure. Like we said, he does have the stability aspect from what we know that Cisco doesn't. But yeah, I can see why he went home. There's nobody there to vouch for him no more.
Yeah, he seemed to have taken it very well.
Because he knew that too. There's an element of realization his connections weren't there. I think when Deanna got eliminated, that was like his last hope. So
yeah, that's true. Ron, what did you think? Did they eliminate the right person? They eliminate the right man, Khalil?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he went to him before that and said he wanted to self-eliminate to just not even go through that process. And they were just like, man, just we're gonna be chill with you. Just go through it. And because it went through real peacefully, you know what I mean? Real like
he didn't put up any fight or anything. So like,
yeah,
okay,
no, like even the facial expressions were all right. Yeah. I know, like this is cool. Like we already talked about it, but normally in that situation, the guy already knows 100%, so he's gonna go try to self-eliminate it beforehand, just to get home a day earlier. I just want to get a head start heading back home from the retreat. If I, you know what I mean, a day early and stuff, so I'm gonna try to self-eliminate before that aspect of the show. And they, and he took it like a champ and went through it. So, and I believe that he's I didn't see him have any problems with anybody in the cast and stuff like that. So I think it was genuinely, people were sad to see him go and things of that nature. I think he had a good relationship with a lot of castmates in a friendship type of way.
Yeah, good point. El Cid says, you know what? He couldn't have left anyway because none of the castmates drove their own car. Remember, they came up to this getaway in basically like a party bus.
Oh yeah, they would have sent me home if I somebody would have Uber me back.
Yeah, you're right. I was gonna say get you an Uber or something, huh?
Yeah, there's a situation where I gotta go. Like I ain't being stranded nowhere. We
ain't playing like that.
Home. But normally what happens in that situation, like I said, the guy goes to Tommy. So or a production like, yo, man, I don't got another connection here. So there's no point in me being here. I'm not gonna just sit up here watching everybody else make out. I'm just sitting here looking dumb. So I want to go home. And the guy, they're like, just wait it out for a day. We're gonna let you go. It's gonna be peacefully. You got a chance to see everybody else go to the process where they say they're not ready to love and stuff like that. You got to take it like a man to do it too. And
yeah,
that's how the conversation goes.
Okay, that's true. That's true. What do you think, JR? Was the right person selected first of all and eliminated, or and did he handle it well?
Yeah, both. He was the right person. He handled it well, and yeah, like if he wanted to self-eliminate, it would have made sense to try and play it out in a scripted way rather than just him disappear, which we've seen before on other seasons. Guys stay in the car or they disappear, or not interested no more. But yeah, no, he seemed like a respectable guy. Seemed like he got on with everybody, cheerful dude. But he just didn't connect enough with the ladies that were picked. So he handled it well, and he's probably gonna move on to back into real life and try and date more locally, I guess, because he shouldn't let this deter him from looking for his connection. And he said as much anyway. He took it in his stride, didn't put up any fight, didn't see it as disrespect or anything, so he knew.
Yeah, he did. He knew. Um, what did you guys? Jr. Did you check out what we got coming up for next week with the little clips they showed?
Yeah. So next week, and the guys have to introduce their family members to the ladies. It's going to be interesting because, as we've alluded to over the past few weeks, Cisco doesn't have a good relationship with his mom per se. So it'd be interesting to see who he brings to vouch for him, and for Tate. So I'm very intrigued to see what happens there. It looks like Cam is in some hot. No, yeah, Cam looks like he's more in more bother, and it looks like Rose and Hussein go through something as well. So,
Yeah,
because
that's
that
what.
relates to her baby father who's not around. He's
Oh
incarcerated or whatever.
yeah,
Yeah,
it almost looks like in that clip. It almost looks like he was not aware that her baby's father is incarcerated.
yeah,
Like, no.
He didn't know.
That's
Yeah.
big. That's big time stuff though too, because you're like you're blinded by the representative. Even Rose giving out a representative, and you're like in your head on this show. I'm just talking about the emotions of a castmate while you're going through it. You're like, this girl's so perfect. This woman's so perfect. This woman's so perfect because you're getting representative, and then you get a statement like baby daddy in jail. You're like, what? Why would she choose him? Like, what's really going on? And then it dawns on you that your perfect girl is not perfect. Now, as a man, how do you adjust?
yeah.
Mm,
And
yeah.
can I just say something? I mean, if next week is a break, man, they
Yeah.
got some audacity. They gave us a 6-month break already. Why didn't they need another break for?
Well, okay, now I gotta say this. So over here in America, next weekend is a holiday weekend, right?
Yeah,
And I think typically this show has always given us broke when we had over here when we have a holiday.
right.
So they're gonna take a break and we'll be back with we're still talking about the next episode though, right?
Yeah, of course. But what I'm saying is, you had a 6-month break already. The show is pre-taped. It's not like they're doing it live.
Okay, yeah,
Pre-taped.
true.
So you can just run the show. And in fact, they might get more viewers if it's a holiday. People might be at home.
Yeah, that's true too. You bring up all of these are very good points. Ryan, what do you say to that?
I won't be in town.
Right,
I like to
right,
use my
right.
holidays to travel and like. So I'm all for them taking a break on the holidays. I need my holiday. I like
I know
to
that's
get out of
right.
town.
I know that's right. I need mine too. So I mean, I'm cool with it. I mean, I'm just saying. I guess I see your point on the one hand, Jr. But it just kind of like that's always the way it's been. Like if this were, some other big holiday, it would be the same way. They've always done that, so we know that about the show. Um, any predictions on couples that'll make it to the bridge, Jr.
Uh, okay, making it to the bridge, just the bridge, nothing more.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Just the bridge.
I could probably see Tay and Cisco. I can see
Okay.
maybe I see Hussein. No, I see Rose having to choose between Hussein and Cam at the bridge. Someone's gonna get left alone, or she might end it with him first and then go back to the real connection. And Jay and Kiara will probably get to the bridge, but I don't know if they're gonna make it after that.
Okay. All right. Any thoughts on it, Ryan, about who might make it to the bridge this season?
He said it sounded pretty accurate to like what I think. Yeah, it was probably going to happen. It's definitely going to be a fight between Cam and Hussein for Rose. Like I said, because he's going to pick the more popular girl instead of just taking the easy route and getting with the other woman, which I would have done. But I know how the man's psyche is in this show. They're not going to go for the woman that nobody else wanted. He's going to want to go for what he think is the prize. Which I think when they find out more about Rose, with baby fathers being in jail and things of that nature, she ain't really as big a prize as they think it is. But it's just you know, you're in an emotional state and during the filming of the show when it goes on. So you're in your head, you think that's the prize. That's what the other guy that you see as competition, that's what he wants. So you're gonna go after him. It's an ego thing. I know you're tired of hearing that, but that's just how we are. So yeah, I see them fighting it out. One of them will be left. Cisco's gonna keep the sexy on and gonna
keep that shirt off.
Like that bread.
He gonna keep that shirt off and yeah, you're right.
But it is. Jared made a very good point. No, the biggest part about another big part about stability is not just the money. The family's a big part of stability too. And like I said, if he doesn't have that family dynamic on top of it, it gets tough. Because you know what I mean? You could be like, he don't got the money and stuff like that, but he got a really good family, man. They're really nice and stuff. I can see myself part of that family. I can see, you know, where he gets this from. Apple don't fall too far from the tree. You know, his mom, you know what I mean? You can get involved in it and know more and make clear decisions, but you don't got your family thing together either on top of that.
Yeah.
I mean, is she gonna be scared? You know what I mean? Because that's all the pressure on women when you start thinking like, am I this guy's only lifeline if something goes down?
Right. That part.
Yeah.
And I'd also say in the clip we saw, there's a little bit of pettiness from Miss Kiera once again. She's sitting down with Jay's family, and she decides to bring up the whole incident with Sahara. I was like, what? What's the need for that?
Oh no, that was like childish and petty.
You ain't let it go yet.
She's
exactly.
She still haven't let it go. Like, come on now. She's starting to give high school vibes.
Immature vibes.
Immature. That's what I'm saying.
And he can't keep up with that. He can't. He's not the type of guy to keep up with that type of pressure. If a woman's gonna put that type of pressure on him, he's gonna run.
And that's embarrassment as well. You know, he's bringing this girl to meet his family, probably talking her up. This is my connection, blah blah blah, and then she comes out with that to try and shame him almost or embarrass him. I don't think he should take that well, but that's why I think they need to get to
it to himself. When he let her bring the other girl into the conversation and he let that slide like that, he put himself in position to take that. And he'll take that.
Right. And how many times does he have to apologize to her before she decides to move on from it?
Wait a minute, you guys are both talking at the same time.
Oh no, go ahead, JR.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, how many times does he have to apologize to her for her to be able to move on from it? Because, like, we've seen a couple times he apologized, and also he said it straight in front of Sahara, like we said. So why does Kiera need to bring it up in front of his family like that?
Because she already proved to him that she can demasculate him at any time. That he'll gonna take, you know what I mean? Like, he took it. If he would have stood on the square and been like, no, you ain't bringing the other woman to the conversation. I told you what it is. You even get with that or don't. But what I'm not gonna take is you being funny around. You know what I mean? He would have put it down and really let him know, where he stood. But instead, he was, oh baby, what I need to do. You know what I mean? Apologize. Oh yeah, bring her. Yeah, I'll tell her to her face and making her the boss of it. And now she feels comfortable to doing it in front of your family, the people that raised you, your peers.
Right. Yeah, that's too much.
She never felt that comfortable. She never should have felt that comfortable to do that for my parents. She meet it for the first time. Building my business out in the streets.
Well, guys, okay. Thank you so much for being here, JR, XTV, Ron Freeman. Thank you as always. You're always a pleasure to have. Tell the folks where they can find you and what you got going on, JR.
You can find me on JRXTV on IG and Life is Reality on the YouTube.
Okay. All right. And Ron?
My IG is I am Ron Freeman, same as Facebook. Going on, I actually met a very nice female during Essence Festival this year.
Okay.
She lives in DC. She came to visit me in Houston once already. I'm going Labor Day this weekend to visit her in DC. Then she's coming back for the Raphael Sadiq concert in Houston about 2 weeks later. And then I'm probably going to take her to my conference in Vegas after that. So wish me luck. Hopefully, I might finally have some love vibes coming through.
Are you starting to get some feels for this young lady, Ron?
Yeah, it's going pretty good right now. We both have a really good connection. We both kind of feel the same way. So, like I said, I'm going to her turf for the first time over in DC. I'm hoping I have some time to catch up with some of my DC cast members over there. You know, I'm real tight with them over there, my old DC castmates. But she seemed like she got a pretty tight, pretty strong agenda for stuff we're gonna do. So, but yeah, I'm being intentional. I'm putting in the effort, and we'll see where the chips lay.
Okay. Right. I got a quick question for you. Are you still seeing working with what was it last season? Were you working with a matchmaker or just a dating coach or something?
Oh, yeah, that was more dating coach in order to kind of get
Okay. All right.
get back at attention. You know what I mean? Things I was doing wrong and stuff, and getting good, good advice from
Mm-hmm.
a female aspect and things of that. And it helped out a lot. It helped me see, even in my own family, like what I mean, like
Yeah.
even with my mom, what I mean, from Detroit, getting older and stuff like that. One of the questions back then was like, do I see her as the woman, as a woman as she is at this very moment in which she's dealing with as a woman right there at this second. And I was so male centric and more logic thinking, I wasn't even thinking about that. I'm thinking about what does she need, what's going on, what's that. I didn't take the time to understand women as women at the exact time and emotion and what they're feeling as a woman and what they're going through at that particular time. And if I was in tune with that, I would know she don't need help right now. She just needs me to listen, or she don't need me to listen. She needs me to take action, or she don't need me to do either. She needs a break. And it would help me be able to take a woman back to her safe place.
Oh,
And I
okay.
wasn't doing that with women. I wasn't able to get them back to their safe place because I wasn't even acknowledging how a woman felt in her emotional state at a particular time.
Okay.
Why she was feeling it. I couldn't relate to it. So it helped me able to kind of feel where she's at as a woman and what she's going through right there at that time, relate to it, and then make a better decision on how to get her back to her safe place and what I needed to do or what I did not need to do.
Right. Well, I'm glad. Every time I see you, and I said this last week, you weren't here, but I was bragging about you, and I said, one thing about Ron, he is tremendously honest, straightforward person. He's going to tell you how he sees it, and when he tells you, you can believe that that's what it is. There's no fluff involved. You're going to just tell it like it is, and I love that about you. I really do.
Yeah, like I said, it's just at the age, I just want to take more accountability. I mean, as wherever that be, maybe a future husband. I mean, I'm trying to do it every day as a father. You just want to take accountability and kind of nourish those relationships. So,
Absolutely, sure do. It's good to see. Well, let me hush my mouth. I was about to say something. Let me hush my mouth. We'll talk about that behind the wall. But but anyway, good to have both of you here, guys. Thank you for hanging out with us. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. All the things that are thinging, right, JR?
Absolutely. Like, share, subscribe, tune in, check us out. September the 5th episode is going to be wild. So we'll be back with a review in a few weeks.
We'll be back in a few weeks. And guys, those of you that are watching Match Me Abroad, and I don't know, Ron might be interested in this because he and I have these conversations, these passionate conversations about the passport bros. Well, now you got a passport girl. So, check that out. Yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back
I
Tuesday.
can see that. I don't think that. How does that exist?
Yeah, okay, well, yeah, it does. It does. Check that out. Our recap and review on that with Elsie. We'll be back here Tuesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. Yeah, Ron, that's something. Oh, I haven't told you, but my daughter got married in D.C.
Oh
Just a
wow,
few
there you
months
go.
ago. Yeah, yeah. They said they're already working on a baby. I'm like, yes. I'm so excited. I am so excited. But with that being said, guys, we're going to shimmy and shake on out of here. Thank you again for being here, everybody. Really have a great evening and a great rest of your week. Okay.
Yeah, everybody.